Hi guys, you are welcome back to Significant Woman. It is always a joy having you here, and thank you so much for the great support that you have showed me. And today I want to share with you why Significant Woman. Now, it has always been a passion for me to establish a community for women. Now, I didn't really know what that meant. Honestly, sometimes God leads us to do certain things and it's like He keeps on building a bridge as we walk on it. And when I started Significant Woman, I've seen many people really appreciate, talk about Significant Woman as something that they can be part of, as something that is really special to them. And I didn't know what that meant until recently. You see, as women, we go through a number of things in life. There are so many challenges that we face. And sometimes you do not have a community to run to. Sometimes you don't have that sisterhood around you. And if you're like me, who is really too private, I am someone who doesn't mind living alone. Sometimes I look at my life and realize that actually I haven't had anyone come to visit me at my place. And it's not like I'm really complaining, but it's like that is how much I'm too private. I don't mind just being in my own space. I don't mind just being alone. I don't mind living life alone. If there are people whom you could take to an island and they thrive there, I think I'm one of those people because I don't mind my own space. But that really has challenges on us. Many people think that women, we find it easy to share about our lives. We find it easy to talk about what is happening in our lives. That is what the whole world thinks. But there are some people who find it very, very difficult to talk about themselves, to talk about the things, the real things that they are going through. I've had many people who have gone through challenges and we are friends, and you get to know when things are really, really not adding up. And you're like, well, you went through all this for 5 years, 10 years, and you never said that thing. And yet we were meeting, we were laughing, we were doing life together. And yet we really don't do life to those deep things that really affect us. So there are so many women out there who are going through life and they are going through it alone. You're really going through life alone. You can meet with your friends and laugh and make all sorts of noise. But when you go back to your place, you know that you are really feeding on your tears. You don't know how tomorrow will be like. You don't know how life is going to be like. Even when you have friends, you have family, it's like they cannot really understand you. And so when God led me to begin this platform, and I know that He's going to expand it beyond just being an online community. When God led me to begin this platform, I didn't know what it meant until recently when He laid it on my heart that yes, many of us want to have a community of women, but there should be a platform, there should be an environment where people can honestly share what they are going through and lay it bare, and have someone who can hold them, have someone who can pray with them, have someone who can encourage them or even rebuke them to get out of that situation. That is why you need to be part of Significant Woman. For the few months that we have been here, there are many things that we have done, but I know that the direction that God is guiding us into is building that community, building that environment where you can turn and even give a call to someone, and they will be there for you, regardless, no matter where you are. You see, when I look at the Bible, I see many women who represent us. Recently, I've been thinking and I've been studying the woman, the Samaritan woman. If you read the Bible from John chapter 4, there is this woman that we are introduced to, the Samaritan woman who came to the well at a certain point. She came in later, like in the afternoon maybe. And that showed that she was like an isolated woman from community, because many times people would come to the well either in the morning or in the evening, but for her she came in the afternoon. Some of us are living in isolation. You're not really celebrated or welcomed in a community that you're living in, society, in your family, at your own workplace. So some of us are like that woman, but also she had a background. We don't know exactly what it means for her to have 5 husbands, 5 men who are not her husbands. But for some of us, it's been like that. For one reason or another, you've been through relationships one after the other, and all of them are not committing to you. All of them are not your husbands. And sometimes it can really be difficult for us. It leaves scars on us that only God can heal, you know. And so that affects us. And those are things that we battle with every day. And sometimes people don't know these things. I believe, like the Samaritan woman, many people didn't know that she can actually go to the well, because she used to go there at a time when no one is actually there. Some of us are like that, living through life alone and in silence, so that no one really can know what is happening in our lives because of the things that we've gone through. I love talking about Ruth, a woman who really suffered grief, lost her husband, lost her brother-in-law, lost her father-in-law. She was living with a woman who was really almost desperate. Naomi, from the words that she would say, you would see that you can say that she was really going through a tough time. And we all know what it means when you're having your own battles to fight, but you're also living with someone who is going through a lot of challenges. And sometimes you don't even focus on your own problems. You just channel all the energy that you're remaining with to this person so that you can help them. But deep down, you know that you're struggling, you're going into the bathroom and crying as you help these people. That is what Ruth was going through. She was grieving, but also trying to help a mother-in-law who's grieving. So it was double problems for her. And then we see people like Rahab, who are known as prostitutes. You know, like it is interesting that they say Rahab the prostitute. You could be like that. You have been named. There's something that you are identified for that has been tagged to you, and it's like a price tag. Wherever you go, people will identify you as that. It has become part of your identity, and you don't know how to deal with it. There are so many women in the Bible that you look at and we can really identify with. Some of us have gone through terrible relationships that have left our hearts bleeding for years. Some of us have been abused by our family members, by our husbands, by strangers, and you're dealing with that in silence. Some of us, life is not making sense. You have worked for so many years, but you see that for the 10 years that you have worked for, things are not adding up, and you're not really confident in yourself. You go in communities and you see that everyone else is flourishing, is thriving, but you go back home in Africa, when you go back to the village, like for maybe family reunions or during Christmas, you will really feel it when your life is not mattering to people. You will see how they will discriminate you. You will see how people talk to you. You will see that they're really not giving you all that kind of attention like they are giving to certain people who are married, who have made it in life, you know, who have nice jobs, who have cars, who have property, who are helping all the time people in the village. You will see it and it really stings. And yet you come back and you're really trying and pretending that everything about you is okay. We are fighting so many battles, and sometimes we don't have that one person that we can wholly trust, that one person that you can fully confide in 100%, lay everything bare. We don't have those kinds of people. And of recent, I've been aching for that kind of fellowship, that kind of, community, that kind of space where if I'm going through challenges and life is really not making sense, I go through certain things and many times I battle them by myself. And that is not nice. That is deadly. So I've been really aching for that community, and I realized that I might not actually be the only one. There are so many of us out there who are struggling with life, who are really battling with so many things that no person, none of the people around us know about. And that is why Significant Woman is here. I realize that this is not just for people. This is not just for YouTube, you know. This is for me, because I need a community of significant women, women like the Samaritan woman, from being an isolated woman, despised woman in community, to being a woman who preached to the whole town and people were saved. And it is told that she ended up being martyred. She was murdered because of the gospel. She continued to share the gospel. She continued to preach. And that was a woman of significance. We see Ruth, from being a woman who was grieving, who had lost her husband and all, to being a grandmother of David. Was she a grandmother? But she's also named in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, among the few, about 5 women that were named in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. There are just 5 women, and all those women, it is really amazing that all those women had a history, had some baggage to them. But that is what God chooses to use. Ladies, no matter what you have gone through, like Rahab, she's also named among those 5 women. Rahab was known as a prostitute. I don't know what the world has tagged you. I don't know what the world is naming you. But from just being known as Rahab the prostitute to being among the 5 women that are mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. So you also matter. You're a woman of significance. But imagine if there was a big space that would help you to unleash that. These women met someone who was Jesus, or a representation of Jesus Christ, and their lives turned around. And that is what we need. That is what we need. We need that moment where we're going to meet with Jesus and he turns our stories around. He actually does. He always does. He turns our lives around, because I am very certain that God created you for a purpose. It is scripture. We see it being talked about for David and Jeremiah. Before they were formed in their mother's homes, God had already appointed them for a certain specific something on earth. And God enabled them to see that come to pass. I believe that I was created for a reason. I was created for a purpose. But all these things happen in my life and they distract me, and the enemy just rides on those to put me down, to kill, steal, and destroy what God had prepared for me. But I know that it is possible for us to live fully in Christ, to live the kind of life that you are created to live, and to live to reach your potential. Like to be at your deathbed, you're just so sure that you lived to your full potential. You laid it out there, and you're going as an empty vessel. You're not going to the graveyard with anything. And so, number one, we need to have that encounter with someone. To me, it is Jesus that is going to turn your life around. But the second thing is that you need a community. That community of people that you can trust and be raw with and be real, authentic with. That place that is going to be a space for accountability, a space for prayer, a space for holding you, a space that is going to help you remain at the top of your game in every aspect of your life. And that is what I want to provide you through Significant Woman. So if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, I really want to encourage you to subscribe. God is going to take us through a very beautiful journey. And I want to hear testimonies 1 year, 2 years, 20 years from today, of women who are discouraged, who are going through something, but God raised them up to become significant women, to become women of noble character, to become women who lived to their full potential. I want to hear those testimonies, but I also want to be part of that journey with you. And I want you to be part of that journey with me. So thank you for listening. It is just my encouragement that you will subscribe, you will share this video with another lady and encourage them to subscribe, because I'm very, very sure that God is going to do something amazing in our lives and we will live to testify. Please also tell me where you're watching me from so that we can know where God is raising women of significance. God bless you and bye.